and welcome back to an episode of Bantz with Lawrencia. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing great. For today's episode, I want to talk about Hollywood sweethearts, and this is Fredrick, Leonard, and his wife Peggy. Now, according to sources, multiple sources, there's trouble in paradise. Now, for some of you who don't know, these two beautiful couple, they got married a couple of years ago, and their wedding was beautiful. Peggy praised her husband. Peggy talked about how he's faithful, how he's generous, how he treats her like a queen. Now, before then, they've dated for 7 years, and Peggy mentioned that at some point she was thinking maybe he was not going to marry her. At some point, she was telling him, listen, Leonard, I'm a fine baby, trying to get him to, maybe snap out of it and get married to her. According to Peggy, she said Leonard wanted to, according to him, what he told her, she said he wanted to make sure everything is in place, make sure their YouTube channel is popping, make sure that he, as an Anambra man, he wanted to make all the money in the world before he gets married, basically. Now, these two people, they're in their 40s when they got married. But even when they were dating for that 7 years, they were both very successful. But according to Peggy, Fredrick wanted to be even more successful before he got married to her, which they did. And after their marriage, when I think it was Kiki talked about in her marriage, they are doing 50-50. She's paying half of the bills. The husband is paying half of the bills, which is kind of new in a Nigerian setting. But when two people are making money, maybe the wife making more than the husband, there's bound to be that kind of arrangement where she is going to chip in to pay the bills, which was not a problem in Kiki's kind of marriage. But Peggy made a post talking about that her husband wouldn't even allow her to pay bills, her husband this, her husband that. She's always online praising Fredrick, talking about how manly he is, how faithful he is, and all that. And people had always talked about Fredrick's philandering. According to Nollywood sources, they said that Fredrick is one of those Nollywood people because he owns a YouTube channel. So whenever there's a production, he kind of audition people for the production. So he meets different beautiful women on a daily basis. And Fredrick he's handsome, some people will say he's actually a very handsome man to them. But he is okay. So according to what people are saying, some women like that. So they would even throw themselves at him without even asking for anything. Even when he's trying to pay them for movie roles, some of them would just want to have that kind of connection with a star, with a movie producer, so that they will have like a long-term relationship and then get roles in, get visibility basically in the Nollywood industry. So there's always been speculations about Fredrick's philandering, Fredrick's cheating, Fredrick sleeping with different women, but because himself and Peggy kind of kept their relationship private for a very long time, people were always only speculating, and Peggy didn't want to hear anything. She was just living her best life. She was producing movies. She was an actress. She had different businesses that she was running. So Peggy was busy. Now, I think maybe when she got to 40 or clocking 40, she kind of mounted pressure on Fredrick to get married to her, according to what people said. So even according to what she said on their wedding day. So finally, Fredrick settled for Peggy, okay? And after that, he's still going about doing his normal, philandering, sleeping with different women. But they said there's a particular lady who he is liking her posts, liking her pictures, liking everything. They even vacation together. Now, Fredrick and his wife always do things apart. Even when they were dating, there was not much. You could tell their chemistry on screen. You could tell that these two people have something together, but not. You wouldn't see that PDA on a personal level, if not on screen. Even at some point, they denied their relationship. So their relationship had always remained private. So now that they're married, Peggy obviously wanted to do things with her husband, but according to the story, Leonard said he's very busy. They were even Christmas card. You will see Peggy, Nigerian celebrities, they do all these Christmas photo shoots, birthday photo shoots, all these things. So wearing Christmas jumpers. And Peggy, after their marriage, this is the first Christmas that they would have posted together. And Peggy posted a picture of herself with a Christmas tree with no Leonard in sight. So people started questioning, like, okay, you guys are married now. We understand when you're dating, you wanted to keep things under wraps. You didn't want anybody in your business. But now you put your marriage out there, you put your wedding out there, you invited the whole public to be there. So now we have to ask questions. Why is Fredrick not in the Christmas pictures? And then Fredrick came out and said, can't his wife do things for herself? She has a mind of her own. She's doing her thing, he's doing his thing. That why is that a problem? That they've always done that. But people said, that's strange. That is strange that you're married and you guys are both a power couple now. So if you have to market things, you have to now kind of tap into that and market yourself. But since you're trying very hard to distance yourself from your wife, or your wife is trying very hard to distance herself from you, then there is a problem. So they have been running PR since then, trying to convince everybody that there's nothing going on. Even Fredrick said that he's been blocking people on his wife's page. At some point, they started talking about, Peggy being pregnant and all that. Now, the latest is that multiple sources are now reporting that Peggy, because there was a video she posted recently, she was not wearing her ring and she was making sure that she showed her hands, for people to see that there's no ring. I was like, Peggy, you're just fueling this whole, conversation. And since then, the internet has been running wild. And Fredrick is not helping the matter because he's busy liking other women's picture, a particular lady, dark in complexion. Now Peggy is yellow purple. Peggy is light skinned, soft butter life. But this person that Fredrick is going after now she's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. She's dark skinned. She has all the right curves in the right places. And people are saying that he probably married Peggy out of pity because he's dated her for 7 years and she was mounting pressure on him, and then he just decided to wife her, and maybe thinking that since they are married, she's just going to go about doing her thing, he's going to go about doing his thing, because that was what he was doing before the marriage. But people are saying that Peggy is now putting down her foot. Peggy is saying that since we are married now, you're doing that when we're not married and I let you, but for the fact that you married me and for the fact that I came online and I said that you're faithful, you have to be faithful to me. So I just want to ask this question. Whether man or woman, if you're dating somebody and that person is cheating on you while you're dating that person, and for whatever reason you convince that person to marry you, and now you're married to that person and that person has not changed, were you thinking that person would change after marriage? Because I actually don't get it. There are so many people who are dating people who are not even taking care of them financially. Now, taking care of somebody financially is very different depending on your capacity. It's not even about money. It's about the thought that counts. Let's say if your girlfriend is saying that, she cannot afford rent for this month, for whatever reason, or there's a problem, or her car breaks down. Are you the type that will say, okay, let me just give you maybe it's, I don't know, 20,000 naira, and you say, okay, I have 4,000 naira, put it towards your car to help fix your car. I think if that person is not even kind of trying to help in any way, shape or form, whether they have it, whether they don't have it. Now, I'm not saying, carry all your problem and give somebody. But I think, or I believe that before you get married to somebody, you have to sit down and talk about finances. You have to sit down and talk about, cheating. There are certain things that are deal breakers. There are certain things that you may accept in a relationship that you may not be able to accept in marriages. Finance is one of them. Cheating is one of them, depending on the person's what the person's deal breaker is. If the man is financially capable and the woman, like Regina Daniels, understanding that her husband is polygamous and decided to get married to him, if the husband then decides to marry somebody else, I don't think Regina Daniels will come out and cry wolf because she knew exactly what she was getting herself into. Or let's say she married a billionaire, and if that man is not taking care of her as should, she has every right to come out and complain because, I married you because of your money. So my question is, would you marry somebody knowing exactly what you're getting yourself into and then want to change that person? What would make you want to change somebody? I am always a believer of having proper conversation before getting married, because most times these conversations are very difficult to talk about, which is why people avoid it. Would you rather get married and try to change somebody, or would you have that conversation beforehand, have an understanding, and then people change? But let me know what you think. What do you think about Fredrick, Leonard's and his wife Peggy's situation? Allegedly, they said that the two of them have gone their separate ways because of cheating. But let us state here, or let me establish that Fredrick has never been faithful, allegedly, to Peggy. So I don't even know why Peggy is complaining. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. Please like, and share. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.